What do you have to let go of in order to start to bring in the new opportunities that are just around the corner with this upcoming new moon solar eclipse? Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name's Fola, and here on Deep Mind Squared, we talk all things magical practices and altered states. If you're new here, so great to have you join in, and thanks to you all returning members and part of the community. Really great to have you here and just sitting with that energy of this new moon solar eclipse. I believe it's a new moon in Taurus, so very like earthy, grounded, this sense of stability, even though sometimes with the intensities of like solar eclipse energy, it might not feel that way. I know for myself, like the week before, I can really feel this like intensity in my like physical body. I can feel this like vibration that just keeps building and building and expanding out. And also some of the themes that are going on in like the mental structures, the emotional pieces can be a bit overwhelming. So in today's video, I wanted to do a bit of like a clearing, pull some cards as well. I've got the like lovely Thoth deck here. And these soul journey cards. So we'll go into that. But what exactly is this eclipse, and like what's the importance of any astrological, like, I mean, I'm not an astrologer, okay? Just gonna put that out there. I get a lot of information from many great resources like Forever Conscious and all these other websites. So I encourage you to go do your own learning. But I like to, you know, not put like all my trust or faith into the stars. I think though that if we look at it from like a magical perspective, these planets or these stars, these huge bodies that exist, whether we can see them or not, they physically exist, but they also have a deeper archetypal, kind of like collective conscious and like a theme around them. And that is the important part. Just like we go in through cycles and we, you know, move with the moon, and our world, like the waters on our planet, like they move with the moon, the tides, we also can be impacted by the planets, the stars, and what's going on. So it's important to recognize this and then to dive into what like historically has been created in our collective consciousness as humans around different stories or themes related to different planets. So for instance, you know, we have Jupiter, which is often about like abundance, about expansion, right? So that growth. So you can think about what's happening to the planets and dive into it, and maybe writing down in your journal like what types of themes show up for you, and trying to plot it with the different stars, right? And see if you do notice a pattern. That's totally a subjective thing, so do what you need to do for you. But this solar eclipse, again, it's going to be like this sense of opportunity, and this totally makes sense. This is the first solar eclipse, I guess, of the year. It happens around the time of the new moon, because I guess the placements and everything, that makes sense. Again, I'm not an astronomer, not an astrologer, so don't ask me science about it. But every time there's been a solar eclipse, it seems as though there is this new opportunity, like a new doorway opens. Sometimes too, we don't necessarily feel like we have the choice of what that's going to be like. And I get the sense that that's what's happening with this, but it doesn't mean we don't get a complete, like, no say at all. We still have like our heart's desires. So maybe getting clear on that if it's not already coming up for you. Something that's happening for me in this past week is a lot of like forgiveness work, a lot of forgiveness, actually having to have conversations with people around forgiveness, around like my self-worth. For me, it's been a lot around like abundance, and that's because I'm doing some other workings around money and like wealth and all that stuff. So totally makes sense, but it's weird to see that in just the last few days, it's been like, boom, like right in my face. I wake up and it's like this stream of information, needing to go through like this forgiveness process. So if that's something that's coming up for you, just encouraging you, we'll do a bit of that clearing today as well, as we go into the actual like energy work. But feel free to let us know in the comments, you know, what are some things that maybe have been coming up for you, things that you're wanting to like create or like let go of in order to bring in the new, even if you don't know what that is. Super important. It's great to hold that up with each other. You don't have to share like all your details, you know, but just something that you feel called to, because know that you're not alone. Like that's a huge part with this. We're not alone. So, so we'll pull some cards. And just see what, maybe some things we can expect here. I think I'm going to pull 3 cards. So again, we got this Thoth deck, Thoth, Tahuti, whatever. I don't know why I thought this card was going to come. The first card we have is the 4 of, what is this? Discs. Ooh, there we go. Let's just do this one then. And it's in reverse. And that card is actually the power card. It's interesting. It's like this reminder of the elements all being protected. It's almost as though like in the past like year or so, there's been this need to protect our personal power. So whatever's coming up for you around that. Okay, well, we're going to just put that there because it also fell out and it seems very fitting. A lot of planetary stuff here, I'm just going to say. So we have the 4 of Discs, this power card in reverse. So where are the places that we've been coming from where we've had to give away our power? Like we had to. It was perceived that we had to give away our power. We like voluntarily gave it up because that's ultimately what happens. That's, you know, that's why we can't be in victim mode, because we have to allow ourselves to move forward. So interesting too, I'm just seeing that card here is actually ruled by the sun. We got the sun here. It's in reverse. And then at the end of the card, this card fell out with the Prince of Discs in reverse. We have the moon. Fucking new moon, solar eclipse. How cool is that? In the middle, we have the star. So this image of like what really brings you the most beauty and the most joy, and knowing and trusting this interconnectedness between all of these pieces. And I believe this is this is Pisces. Okay, again, not an astrologer. I'm still learning many things. But just that water element. So whatever emotions might be coming up, there's something obviously that's wanting to be cleared for you. And it needs to happen in order for this transformation of what we have then is the Prince of Discs. I'll just show this to you. It was in reverse, but I have to just look at it for a moment. Again, there's something about this vulnerability. Like here's this very powerful being. He's like basically in the nude. Interesting, we got Taurus. Again, I can't even make this shit up, people, okay? We got Taurus, which is where the new moon is in this season right now. I think we've entered Taurus season in general. How can you allow yourself to be vulnerable or come from this place of vulnerability? You know, I mentioned that forgiveness stuff. The heart's desires and the vulnerability. And maybe it's even you being vulnerable about what your actual heart desires are. You know, sometimes we say we want one thing, but in actuality, it's like we've just been saying BS. Like it's not actually what we want, which is okay, you know? Okay, then we have the moon. Sorry, I'm speaking other languages here. Yeah, I think, is that the back of the head or the front of the head? The letter related to this card. But there's something about this that it's, again, this just telling, it's like something from our past that we have like not necessarily wanted to see, and not because it's more because we actually haven't been able to see. And now we're being led to really, like light's being like put onto it so that we can heal it, which makes complete sense. Like the light being covered during a solar eclipse, even though this is a partial solar eclipse, to then bring forth this new understanding, right? And look at the waves in which all of this like this card just shows that you could see the waves, the interplay, again, reminding me of the star card, as we have these like stars or these little interwoven experiences of like life within everything. Everything is interconnected, right? Everything is moving through. And these are in succession to each other, right? This is like us moving up the paths from the like 17th key to the 18th key. And I'm not going to get too much into all that stuff at this point, but there's a whole other thing I could probably talk about there. Anyways, let's see. So the soul journey card, happiness. I am aware that being happy means that I'm on the right path. So where can you bring more happiness in? Like looking at these dolphins, just going into that's kind of the same sort of structure here. If you can see that. Same sort of structure. What are we moving towards? What are we wanting to bring more into our life? And like overall, I think that's happiness. Like we might think we know what happiness is going to be. Like, oh, me working this certain job, me having this certain type of relationship or X amount of dollars, you know, like even this morning I was actually rewriting my list of desires because I've had this list for about a month now. And I read through it every day, a few times a day. I really encourage you to use this technique if it's something that you feel called to. But as the month was going by, I started to realize like, oh, like some of these things that I thought I wanted or that I felt were really truth, like they were evolving, right? And it's like I was able to then recreate my list today, rewrite the things that I felt called to, remove the things that weren't really in alignment anymore. What actually was happening is like things were just sort of morphing, like a couple different ones like blended into one and so forth. So whatever that is for you, I want to encourage you because that's going to really support you in turning the power around. Taking that personal power, letting your light like shine, you know. Yeah, oh, it's so exciting. I'm sorry, I'm just getting excited about this, okay? I think that's all I want to say about this at this point. You hold the keys. Yeah, you truly hold the keys. There's something about this key and this power that's very transformative. So we'll just tune into that energy as we go through a bit of like this energy clearing. You know, I encourage you to do some form of writing down what it is you desire, writing down the things that you'd like to let go. You can burn that list of things you want to let go, or maybe, you know, talking to someone that you feel you would like to kind of close the doors around like what maybe forgiveness needs to happen or things that need to be let go of. Do that work in the next few days. Again, it's not like it has to happen on like the Saturday, the 30th or whatever day that is. This is just an accumulation of experiences that are playing out for us, okay? So we'll just tune into some of these energies right now. There's nothing you need to do. You can just relax at this point. If it's more comfortable for you to find yourself like lying down or sitting, just you can be driving, technically, just don't close your eyes if you're driving. Be aware as you need to, knowing that the benefits of this session are going to touch you, touch your life as we just imagine that sun, that glorious sun. Just imagine that sun standing before you, shining and burning so brightly. Knowing that even the moon gathers its light from the sun. And we just call those energies, the light of the sun, that love, that brilliance to just start to shine into you. Illuminating and awakening any areas that might just be covered by the shadow at this point. Again, not that the shadow is bad. The shadow served a purpose. It's protected you. But now the sun is shining that light. So just noticing whatever becomes aware in your awareness. Maybe it's feelings, thoughts, sensations, emotions, whatever. Any images. Just notice. There's nothing that you need to figure out with this. Like the sun doesn't like have to shine for a reason. It just like shines. It just exists. Unapologetically. It doesn't ask for forgiveness. It just acknowledges its power and lets its power be its power. So as that sun is beginning to just illuminate those shadow pieces, those areas from the past where maybe things haven't been the most savory for you. Interactions with others, choices that you've made, behaviors, anything that is in that space that now it is time with this Taurus new moon, this solar eclipse, these wonderful placements of Venus and Jupiter, I believe, that are coming up. Just allow the sun to begin to illuminate those pieces and transmute them in whatever way that looks like. Maybe it's burning it up. Maybe it's like that phoenix rising where it needs to completely just destroy itself in order to be born anew. We're just going to call on those angels, those galactic beings and guides that are in alignment with you to just hold the space and support you with bringing anything else up. Those spirit guides that are always with you. They're like constantly there. We sometimes just don't hear them. We choose to ignore them, whatever. Just allowing this complete transmutation of your being by the sun with the support of these guides. Any pains in the heart, the spaces of emotion, we're going to just support that area now. Perhaps for a moment you imagine now like the sun itself growing another sun inside of your heart space. It might just start as a small spark of light. Just allow yourself to imagine a sun starting at that little spark of creation, just growing larger and brighter. Each breath adding that oxygen, that prana necessary to allow that inner light to grow. Allowing it to completely engulf your physical body and extending over and through your auric body, extending past, allowing you to become a big bright sun just like that one that was transmuting all those shadow pieces. And imagine your guides, those galactic beings, the angels, your ancestors, just cheering you on. Sometimes we think that being that sun or illuminating our light so brightly is seen as egotistical or like negative, but it's like, no, you are like so beautiful. This is why you're here. You are meant to be that sun, to be that burning bright ball, that inspiration for others, whatever way that looks like that's meant on your life path. No one gets to tell you what that is. But as the days come, as the solar eclipse season, this timeline as we enter into, you will begin to become more aware of what that is. that path, that sacred dream. Aligning more into that sun that you are. And we're just going to call in the energies, drawing down through that middle pillar with these divine names. Just allowing the vibrations to enter into you. Starting from the crown of your head. A, hey, yay. Moving down into the throat. Yod, He, Vav, He, Elohim. Moving down into your heart space. Yod, He, Vav, He, Elo, Avadar. Moving down just below your belly button into your sacral. Shaddai El Chai. And moving down into your feet, grounding you into the earth. Adonai Haaretz. Awakening that channel. Just giving thanks to yourself for taking the time to get clear on these pieces that you want to bring into your life, to allow this happiness and to allow your brightness to shine. Thanking those guides, thanking that sun, thanking each and every one of you for being here. And yeah, may you have a blessed solar eclipse, new moon, Saturday, that wonderful day in which you get to just open up the new opportunities that are arriving at your doorway. So feel free to share this video with anyone you think might be interested in diving into this piece, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Okay, bye.